Hi there. Today we will be talking about Unit 1.3 from Algebra and Trigonometry Ron Larson textbook. Um, Previously we have talked about the linear equations in one variable. We talked about the intercepts and how to solve the equations. But there are certain keywords and phrases that will be helpful for the word problems because we will be solving many word problems in this chapter. Whenever we are talking about equality, there are keywords in the word problem that denotes that we want to put such and such thing equal to each other. Same thing for the addition, subtraction, multiplication, and dividing. So these are some clue words and some phrases. If you are familiar with these, it will be easier for you to handle the word problems. For example, the times always implies multiplication. Less than, more than, quotient always implies that we are talking about dividing something. Whenever you see more than or less than, you need to keep few things in mind. For example, if we have 5 less than x, that implies you are taking 5 away from x. So x minus 5 is the right way to write. If you write 5 minus x, that is the wrong thing because you are not taking x away from 5. Now, these are the basic shapes that you have learned in geometry. That is why the geometry teachers, they focus so much. Please understand these really careful because you need these for higher level maths. So we are talking about the square, rectangles, circles, triangle, rectangle, solid, circular, cylinder, and sphere. There is another thing that is called the ellipse. Ellipse is nothing but oval shape. It can be a horizontally oval or it can be vertically oval. So you will learn about ellipse more in chapter 4.3 and 4.4 that talks about something called conics. Uh, but just to give you a glimpse about the ellipse, the area of the ellipse is pi times x times y. So x is the horizontal, that means from the center of the ellipse, and the y is vertical. So area can be calculated for the ellipse, but we have a problem with the circumference because there is no known formula to calculate how to calculate the circumference of the ellipse, right? So just the basic idea of the geometry, the basic terms that you should be familiar with to navigate through this chapter. And moving beyond, because this is again the basics for you will need these for even for the calculus as well. Okay, keeping this thing in mind, there are certain other formulas that are very useful. For example, for temperature we use Fahrenheit or Celsius. Then we have a simple interest, compound interest, and the distance. Simple interest, it says interest, so it is just the interest, principal times rate times time. When we are talking about the compound interest, we are talking about A as the balance. Distance, as you can see, distance is R times T. What is R in this case? R is rate. That means the other way to write is speed is nothing but distance over time, and rate is nothing but distance. So I would say take a moment, write all of these important points, and it will be helpful to solve the word problem. We will do three types of word problems. Let's take the first type of word problem, which is called the percentage rate. So in these type of problems, let's take for example, if you want to buy a stock that is at the rate of $15 per share, that means the price of one share is $15, and the selling price of the same stock could be $18 per share, and we want to know what percentage increase, what will be the percentage increase in the stock value. So to approach this problem, what we are looking for, if you look at the word problems, one thing is very clear, that you are making a profit, right? you're buying at a lower price but you are selling at a higher price. So what is the profit? Profit is 18 minus 15, which is nothing but $3 per share will be your profit in this scenario. But this 3% is what percentage increase, and so we are looking for a rate in this case. So to calculate the percentage increase, can we write that the profit is nothing but certain percentage increase times the actual price of the stock, which is nothing but 15. That means the initial price at which you bought the stock, right? So keeping all of these scenarios, let's plug in all the information. So we just calculated the profit is $3. I don't know the rate yet. And what is the buying price? Buying price is 15. So we have 3 is equal to 15 times rate, and that will give you rate as 20% or 1/5. So there is an increase of 20% from the buying price to the selling price. So we can say, therefore, the percentage increase is 20%. Right? So if you know how to read the word problem and how to write the given information step by step, then it will be easier to navigate. Let's take second type of problem. So second type of problem will be related to time and travel. Let's take one scenario. So we have a boat that travels to an island which is 14 miles away. And another piece of information that is given is that it takes half an hour for that boat to travel 5 miles. That means the boat can travel 5 miles in half an hour. So they are asking for how long will the entire trip take. Now, so there are two things that are given. I know the total distance that the boat will cover, and we also know what is the rate. That means what is the speed of the boat, and based on the speed of the boat and total distance they have to travel, we can calculate that amount of time it will take. Let's jot down all the information. So we know the total distance is 14 miles. We also know the rate or the speed, which is distance over time. So boat is traveling 5 miles, that is distance is 5 miles in half an hour. So 5 over 1/2, that is nothing but 10 miles per hour. So boat is traveling 10 miles in 1 hour. Now with these two pieces of information, let's calculate the time needed for the boat to travel the entire trip. So we can write speed is nothing but distance over time speed is 10, which we just calculated. Distance is 14, and we don't know the time yet. We can cross multiply, and you will get the time as 14 tenths or 1.4 hours. And don't forget to box your answer. Very simple, right? Let's take another type of question that is called the interest problem. Now understand it a little bit better because it has a multi-layers that we need to calculate. Let's take one scenario. So the total investment that you made is $5,000, and that investment is done in two different accounts. And these two different accounts, they offer a rate of interest that is 2.5% and 3.5%. So there are two different accounts, and both of them, they offer different types of rate of interest. And the interest in this case, we are talking about only the simple interest. Further, the question says that in 1 year, these two rate of interests has helped you to earn $151.25 on your total investment. So what was our total investment? 5,000. So on 5,000, after 1 year, both accounts combined together gave you the interest of 151.25 as the earned income. Now the question asks for how much is invested in each account. So there is a bunch load of information that is happening here. So let's highlight what is given to us. So 5,000, we have two rate of interest, simple interest, and the amount that we earned. Let's try to solve it in small chunks. Let's calculate the simple interest for the two different bank accounts. So how to calculate the simple interest? Simple interest is principal times rate times time, or in simple way we can say PRT. That is your simple interest. So let's calculate the simple interest for the first one. But to that calculation, we need the principal. So let's say X is the amount invested at 2.5%, and 2.5% can also be written as 0.025. So if X amount is invested at 2.5%, that implies the principal for the second account will be 5,000 minus X, because that is the leftover amount invested at 3.5 interest, or it can be written as 0.035. So now we have the two principles ready with us, right? We have the rate, we don't have the time. And we also know that the total income earned is 151 and the total investment is 5,000. Let's calculate the simple interest one by one. So equation for simple interest will be interest for 1 X, that means X is the principal, times rate, which is 0.025, and we are talking about 1 year time frame, because time is given as 1 year. In the same way, we can calculate the simple interest for the second bank account. We can say 5,000 minus X in the parentheses, which is the principal, times rate. Rate is 0.035 and the time is 1 again. Now with these two simple interests, if these two simple interests are added together, that should be equal to 151.25 because that is the total amount you have earned. So simple interest 1 plus simple interest 2 is equal to 151.25. So let's rewrite the equation by combining the two interests together. So we can say 0.025x plus 5000 minus x times 0.035 is equal to 151.25. Now let's distribute and clean this up. This will give you 0.025x plus 175 minus 0.035x, and everything is equal to 151.25. Combine the like terms. It will be 0.01x is equal to negative 23 because you are subtracting 175 both sides as well. And that will give you the value of x as, use your calculator, it is 0.23, negative 23.75. So the value of x will be $2,375. So that is the first principal amount. That means the principal, the amount that you have invested at 2.5% rate of interest. Now if the value of x, that means the first principal is 2,375, can I calculate the principal for the second bank account? So we will do the principal for the first account is 2,375. Principal for the second bank account is 5,000 minus x, and x is nothing but 2,375. So the principal for the second bank account will be $2,625. And if you want, you can check if the answers are valid or not by finding the rate of interest on these principal, and you will get the same answer that we are looking for. So these are the few examples, few word problems that are related to this chapter 1.3. One important thing is how to use the calculator to solve the equations in a single variable. So if you are using TI-83, TI-84 or any calculator, then there is a function on the calculator that allows you to graph the functions, right? And there is another function on the calculator that allows you to evaluate or find out the intersection point. So for example, if we have any equation, for, let's say 4x squared is equal to 12, then what we can do, we can rewrite the equation by putting each side as a separate function. So the idea is use right hand side as a separate function and use left hand side as the separate function. So we will have two functions here. Y is equal to 4x squared and y2 will be equal to 12. This is very, very important. You should make yourself familiarize how to use the calculator. So on y is equal to tab on your TI-83 or 84 calculator, click on y and put first equation as y1 is equal to 4x squared and the second equation as y2 is equal to 12. Then there is an intersection tab and find their intersection point. Their intersection point will be the solution of this problem. So it is my advice, start getting used to of the calculator, how to use it, because this calculator is a little bit different. You are not used to the graphing calculators. Previously you used to use the scientific calculators. So once you will gain a good grasp of using the calculator, things will get a little bit easier. So try testing calculator, and I hope this video makes sense to you, and I will see you in the next video. Bye bye.